Air Quality and Athletics Performance. Presentation of the study research conducted in Yokohama during the IAAF World Relays in May 11th and 12th, 2019. Objectives, methodology, field works and first conclusions. Some of our heroes wear running shoes.
My name is Haile Gebrselassie. I was 11 times world and Olympic champion and set over dozen world records from 3,000 indoor to the marathon through my career. However, I have one regret: those races where I could not compete because of asthma, or when I had to drop out because of pollution. This is why, when I became a president of the Ethiopian Athletics Federation, my first action was to move our national athlete from training in the capital Addis Ababa to outside the city, because it is better for their health and performance. Did you know 7 million people die because of poor air quality? 4.5 million of those deaths are because of indoor air pollution from cooking. Enough is enough. Take action now. Join me, IAAF and UN Environment, to beat pollution. Go to breathelife2030.org. Get informed and join the campaign.
For the rest of us, things are also changing. People now expect a sustainable activity in all industries. There are some things we know about the effect of pollution on athletic performance. What if we could know more? What if we could do something about it?
My name is Paula Radcliffe, and I've set world records. I have led from the front. Until the next generation of athletes have the opportunity to run in clean air, I commit to help lead the fight against pollution. More people run than do any other sport on the planet. It is estimated that at least 6% of the world's population of 7.6 billion run. That's over 500 million people, and it's rising. When I run in polluted air, my well-being and performance are affected. I don't want this to get worse. I want to help improve the situation for runners all around the world. Each year, 6.5 million people die because of poor air quality. 4.5 million of those deaths are attributed to indoor air pollution from cooking. Enough is enough. Let's fix this. Take action now by joining me, the IAAF, and UN Environment to beat pollution.
The IAAF wanted to do whatever they can to protect athletes from the negative effects of air pollution to benefit the wider community and anyone who exercises. In 2018, a 5-year project was launched with the best partners. The IAAF Air Quality Project. During 2018 and 2019, air quality monitors have been installed in stadiums of 5 continents, in collaboration with national federations and local air quality authorities.
Over the course of a year, over 7 million people die from respiratory illnesses directly related to the quality of the air that they breathe. We partnered with CUNAC, who have helped us through Barcelona University to create an air quality monitoring equipment. We have 6 pilot schemes. I'm delighted to say Sydney is the third. It's the first in Oceania. And we partnered with federations that we know really understand and are eager to help us achieve this.
In May 2019, a special study research took place during the IAAF World Relays in Yokohama. Now we are making the story come true.
During the Yokohama World Relays, we monitored different types of air pollutants. First, we looked at PM2.5 concentrations, which are particles below 2.5 microns, and we monitor these particles by collecting them on filters and weighing the filters. So we weigh these particles. Then we also looked at particles below 0.1 microns, which are much smaller, and because they're so small, we cannot weigh them, so what we do is count them. We count the number of particles per cubic centimeter of air. And with these two measures, we can know the amount of pollutants, but we cannot know where they come from. We don't know the sources. So for this purpose, we also monitor black carbon, which are particles which originate from combustion processes. They're much, much smaller, below 0.05 microns. And combustion processes in urban environments are mainly traffic. So these are considered a tracer of traffic emissions. In addition to this, we also looked at gaseous pollutants, NO2 and ozone, which are usually anti-correlated in urban environments. When one of them increases, the other one decreases. So the first thing we wanted to do was look at the representativity of our data. Basically, we had sampling locations in the warm-up area and in the stadium, and we compared the concentrations with typical urban environments in Europe, and we concluded that pollutant concentrations were comparable to the levels typically found in urban environments in Europe. So Yokohama was not especially clean or especially polluted during those days, and that the monitoring locations were representative. So we can trust basically our data. So then we wanted to understand the results, and we looked at PM2.5, so the particles we weigh, and black carbon, the particles that come from traffic. We wanted to look at the variability between the different days in the warm-up area here and in the stadium. And this is day 1 and day 2 of the competition. And the main conclusion here that we see is that the trends are different for each pollutant. So first, we can see that both PM2.5 and black carbon increased in the warm-up area from the first day to the second. There's an increase. But if we look at the stadium, we see that the pattern is different. So the PM2.5 concentrations remain mostly constant on both days, whereas black carbon was slower in the second day in the stadium when compared to the first day. This could mean that maybe more people came to the stadium with public transport on that day, or that there were more people the first day driving by a car, private car, or that there was more traffic around the stadium on that first day. So there could be many reasons, but the main point is to see that the different pollutants behave differently, so it's important to gather as much information as possible. Then we also looked at the hourly evolution of these pollutants from 0 to 24 hours, so during one full day. And this is the average for all the pollutants, for PM2.5, for particle number concentration, but also for wind speed. And here what we see is that the pollutant concentrations were mainly driven by the meteorology, by wind speed. We have low wind speeds in the morning during those days and high wind speed in the afternoon, and this anti-correlates perfectly with PM2.5 concentration. So the pollutant concentrations were high in the morning, and when the wind picked up, it started to blow the pollution away, and we have low concentrations of PM2.5 in the afternoon. However, we also see when we look at particle number concentration that there's an increase in particle number at around midday. So when the PM2.5 concentrations decrease, there is an increase in particle number. This is typically found when we have a clean environment. There's more possibility for formation of new particles. So this is why, and these are very small, so this is why the particle number concentration increases around this time. So what does this tell us from the point of view of athletic performance and athletics in general? Well, that this would be the optimal time to carry out sports, because this is when we have a low particle mass concentration, but also low particle number concentration. So this tool allows us to identify the best periods for the athletes to minimize their exposures. Also, we want to look at the overall exposures during the whole day. So we gave some 5 volunteers some silicone bracelets which collect organic pollutants, and they tell us information about the exposure over the entire day, not only the moments of the time when they are in the stadium, but also during the whole day. And we can see with these few samples already that there is a high variability between the volunteers. These are blank samples, and these are from the volunteers. So already from the colors, we can see that they had very different exposures. We have our results here showing that each pollutant is very different for each person. So we see that this is a versatile tool to show us what else the athletes were exposed to. So not only in the stadium, but also when they were outside, when they went for dinner, to a restaurant, in their hotels, what kind of pollution they were exposed to. And finally, how do we link this with athletic performance? Well, we have seen that we can characterize the pollutant concentrations. We can know what amount of pollutants the athletes were exposed to. Then we also know how much time they were exposed. We know how much time they spent in the warm-up area or in the main stadium. And then we also can obtain individual data of each person regarding their breathing rate, their height, their weight. And with all of this information together, we can quantify what we call the individual exposure dose. So exactly how much pollutant of each kind was each person exposed to. And what do we do with this? The idea is to then correlate the individual dose with athletic performance, for example, or the exacerbation of health symptoms. And this will give us valuable information about how much exposure to air pollution influences these other parameters such as performance and health symptoms.
So, what's next?